paper also.
Alright, for today you have one basic rule, actually two, that you have to follow. One is if you have a negative exponent like this, you must move it to the opposite side so it becomes 1 over x squared. Negative exponents get flipped and then the exponent becomes positive. If you had one on the bottom like this, if you had a negative exponent on the bottom, that would go to the top and the exponent becomes positive. The whole class today is built around those two items. So for this problem, if I had x to the second over y to the negative third, I have a negative exponent on the bottom. That means it must go to the top. So you end up with x squared, which is already on the top, and then y to the third. If I had a negative exponent on the top and then a positive on the bottom, the one on the bottom stays. The one on the top must go to the bottom, and make sure you put them in alphabetical order, and that exponent becomes positive. If you have nothing left on top, you just put a 1. 1 over x to the fourth, y to the third. Practice problem. X to the sixth over y to the negative fifth. The solution to the practice problem is that x to the sixth has a positive exponent. It stays on the top. But this is a negative exponent. It must go to the top and become positive. So x to the sixth, y to the fifth. Another practice problem. X to the negative second over y to the fourth. Solution for the practice is that your y to the fourth stays on the bottom because it's positive. But this x to the negative second gets moved to the bottom, has a positive exponent now, and put 1 on top since there's nothing else left. Another practice problem. X to the negative second over y to the negative sixth. Solution for the practice is that since this is a negative exponent, it goes to the bottom and becomes positive. This is a negative exponent, it goes to the top, becomes positive. Another practice problem. X to the negative second over y to the negative third. On the practice problem, this goes to the bottom, the exponent becomes positive, and this to the top, exponent becomes positive. Here's an example problem. 4x to the second over 6y to the negative third. Now we've added in coefficients on the number or the variables here. So simplify 4 over 6. 2 into itself or into 4 twice and into 6 3 times. And then go to your exponents. This one stays on top. So remember, you have 2 over 3 to start with from here and here. This x to the second stays on the top, but the y to the negative third must go to the top and become a positive exponent. So it's 2x squared y to the third over 3. Practice problem. 10x squared over 8y to the negative fourth. The solution for the practice. Start with 10 over 8. That simplifies down to 5 over 4. Your x squared on top does not move, but this one does, and becomes y to the fourth on the top. Another example problem. 10 x to the negative second y to the fourth over 12 x to the third y to the negative sixth. Step 1 is to simplify the 10 over 12. That will go down to 5 over 6. 10 over 12 is 5 over 6. Now you have a positive x to the third on the bottom. It does not move. But this one on top must go down with it. positive second power. Now on the top you have a y to the fourth. It stays, but this one must go up there with it, y to the sixth. And once you have that, you can simplify. You have on the top y to the fourth, y to the sixth. That is y to the 10th. And on the bottom, x to the third, x to the second is x to the fifth. Here's a practice problem. 16 x to the negative second, y to the negative fourth, over 8 x to the negative sixth, y to the negative 10th. The solution for the practice problem, start here and simplify that to 2 on the top. Now you have x to the negative second and x to the negative sixth. Those will have to trade places and then become positive exponents. They're both negative. And the same thing for the y's. You'll have y to the 10th on the top and then y to the 4th on the bottom. From there you have to simplify. Your 2 stays, but x to the 6th over x to the 2nd is x to the 4th on top, and y to the 10th over y to the 4th is y to the 6th on top. Practice problem. 24 x to the negative 3 power, y to the negative 5 power, over 18 x to the negative 7 power, y to the negative 3 power. The solution for the practice problem. Start with 24 over 18. 6 goes into 24 4 times and into 18 3 times. So write that down. And then your x to the negative third and x to the negative 7th would have to trade places and become positive exponents. And the same for the y's. You'll have y to the third on top and y to the 5th on the bottom. Keep your 4 over 3, and now your x to the 7th over x to the 3rd becomes x to the 4th on top, 7 minus 3. But your largest y is on the bottom. 5 minus 3 is 2. Here is another example problem. This one is 12 x to the 4th, y to the negative 3rd, over 16 x to the 5th, y to the negative 2nd. And all of this is going to be to the 3rd power. Simplify 12 over 6 first. 4 into 12 3 times, into 16 4 times. So you have 3 over 4 to start with. There are no negative exponents in the x to the 4th and x to the 5th. So they can stay where they're at. But now you must go to the y's, and they're both negative. So they're going to trade places and become positive exponents. And then of course you have your square. Now simplify wherever you can. The 3 over 4 can't be simplified, but this x to the 4th over x to the 5th, your largest power is on the bottom. And then it goes 5 minus 4 to get 1. Same thing for the y's. The largest one is on the bottom, and it's 3 minus 2. But don't forget you have to square. When you square everything, you get 9 on the top, 16 x squared, y squared on the bottom. Practice problem. 2x to the negative 2, y to the negative 3, over 4x, y to the 2nd. All of this is going to be to the 2nd power. The solution for the practice problem starts with 2 over 4, which reduces to 1 over 2. So you put a 2 on the bottom. Your x to the negative 2nd goes to the bottom with the x that's already on there and becomes a positive exponent. You have a y to the 2nd down there already, and this goes down with it to be y to the 3rd. Don't forget, all of this is squared. And you have nothing on top, so you put a 1. So down here on the bottom, you have 2, and then this simplifies to x to the 3rd, and this is y to the 5th. And then to the square, when you square it, you still have 1 on top, but the bottom is 4x to the 6th, y to the 10th.
Yes!
How did you guys...
How
many people really got that?
Are we seriously doing this for homework?